Hey everybody, for today's video, much like I did with the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man and the Retro Symbiote Spider-Man, I'm going to be doing a versus video on the two core class Shockwaves that we have in the Transformers lines so far. The core class Legacy G1 Shockwave, I almost said Soundwave, and the G1, or not G1, the core class Bumblebee movie Shockwave. Obviously these are two very different designs, movie aesthetic and not movie aesthetic, but I will be going over their accessories, their details, and their articulation and more to see which one is more worth your money. So for the Studio Series Core Class Shockwave, I almost said Soundwave again, Jesus. You have a very, very intricate sculpt for a core class. I mean, all the core classes have a pretty good sculpt, but this is a very, very nice sculpt right here. Very nice lavendery purple, and nice kind of lighter but darker shade of purple right here, almost pink. Nice yellow right in the middle for the eye. The head sculpt is bang on. Just absolutely amazing detail with this figure. Sadly, there's not a lot to do with articulation, and the only accessory you get is this. And the whole Studio Series thing with the backdrops, you don't even get to do that with the core classes because they're tied into the back of the, where the card would be. So, this is it, and it doesn't really look that good, if I'm being honest. I'm pretty sure if they just made this whole arm the cannon and they shrunk the cannon a little bit, like this, down a little bit, it would have been a lot better. I know why they didn't do that for transformation, but I still think it would have been a lot better. But getting rid of that, the articulation on this guy, it's pretty okay. You just get a mushroom peg at the head, arm is on a ball joint, but it can only go up that far, down that far, full 360. You get a swivel up here at the actual bicep, and then you also get a hinge right here. But the bad thing about that is you also, for some reason, get a swivel right here for transformation, because this is the tread. And it's just really hard to get these two to cooperate with each other, because when you want to move that, this moves, and when you're trying to move it back, that moves, and then you get gorilla arm look, and that's just not really good. So it is kind of an annoying figure, at least in terms of arms. And in terms of legs, they are on ball joints. He can't kick up only that far, and back only that far, because he has some really fat thighs. And out is actually pretty okay if you untab the leg for some reason. On this copy of this figure, the thighs don't want to tab in. You could probably see that. They're just untabbing themselves as I speak, and every time I move them, they want to untab. Knee can only go about that far, which is really, really not good, but if you want to tab it in, it can go a little bit farther. And ankle, nothing really much, just down all the way and up a little bit. For the G1 Shockwave, you do get a nice, dark, deep purple right here. Very, very nice. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the black around his face is actually a gunmetal gray, which is beautiful. That yellow eye really, really pops throughout that face sculpt. That head sculpt is just absolutely beautiful. You get some silver right here, which I forgot to mention for the ears on the Nightverse one, which you also have. Not a lot of back kibble on either of these guys. This guy is definitely worse than this one, but I do really love that silver right here for his tit. And then he has two Decepticon symbols right there. One thing I will give on this is I don't feel like I have to add any paint to him. Like, you can if you want to, but I don't feel like I have to. With this figure, neither of his hands came painted. I did this myself. This one and this one both came just straight plastic purple. So they were just one molded piece, which really sucks. But it is a core class, so I kind of let it slide. But when you look at a figure like Optimus Prime or Soundwave or even Sound Blaster, who has a lot of paint on him, it does seem kind of underwhelming. But overall, the detail on this guy is no slouch either. Very, very nice. It's basically just a shrunk down Siege one, and a little more stout and rounder. But definitely really love this guy. For articulation, again, just can't look up or down, just side to side. Arm does have a transformation hinge, so you can hinge it down or up if you want to, and then you can get mega up if you wanted to. Out about that far, down about that far. Swivel at the ball joint. Arm can go bit 90. Nothing at the waist, and same with this figure. Leg can kick up about that far, is not hindered. Back about that far is hindered by the backpack a little bit, but if you move it out just to get in that gap, yeah, it moves out pretty good. Or back and out, spread, very, very nice. Swivel right here because of the ball joint, and he can go all the way in due to transformation. Nothing at the feet, sadly. But the paint and detail on this guy, besides the hands, are amazing. Is amazing. Almost forgot to mention that this Legacy Shockwave does come with a weird radar dish looking thing, which you can definitely use for like a prop in a stop motion or a video or anything really. Just popping in here real quick to mention that this does plug into the cannon, actually. I forgot to mention that. So yeah, go on past Maddie, keep talking. For their alt modes, I will go over Studio Series first, as I did before. I forgot to mention also that core class for this character from this movie doesn't fit this at all. He should have been a leader or at least a big Voyager like Soundwave is. But leaked listings have shown that we're getting one, so can't really complain right now. It used to be a really big complaint among the fandom, but I don't really think it matters that much anymore, and if my camera would fucking focus, that'd be great. But yeah, this is just a tank whatever, which is usually what Shockwave turns into nowadays, but you know what? It's fine. It does look a lot like the Beast Hunters Shockwave that we got all the way back with Transformers Prime, so I'm pretty sure there's some major retooling going on, maybe. I'm not sure, I don't have that figure, but overall, I do like it. The only thing is his hands are kind of like right there. I'm sure that they could have found something to do with those hands, because every other core class can like hide the hands away except for this guy, and his face is just right back there. Right there. It's yeah. He's just looking. He has eyes in the back of his head, what can I say? But yeah, it's not too bad, but it's not too great. It is pretty flimsy. So that's pretty much it for his alt mode. And then going into the Legacy Earthrise, is not Earthrise at all. The Legacy Core Class alt mode, it is pretty okay. You do have more, it makes more sense to have the radar dish in this mode, but it is very Siege-like. Like, I'll put up a picture of Siege alt mode right here, and you can tell that they took a lot of cues, like this little bit right here, and these little bits hanging off right there. And again, I don't know why this happens with the core class Shockwaves, but his hands are right in the back of his alt mode. They are right there, sticking out. So if he wants to flip the finger to anybody going by, he can, I guess. But what is really cool, and what I just found out the other day, is this little piece flips down, and it's a handle. The only figure I have available right by my desk is Ironhide, so just put that handle in his hand. I'll also show a picture I took of Skywarp holding him, but it does look pretty good, and it's a nice reference to what he originally was. I'm glad that they were able to sneak that into this figure, but it's a nice reference to what the original alt mode was that space cannon from G1, so that is actually pretty cool. I never noticed that until just the other day when I was messing with this figure, but overall I think alt mode Legacy kind of wins, because I don't know, it's hard to, okay, well, everything is untabbed right now, so hold on. I think this alt mode wins just because I feel like this makes more sense for Shockwave the scientist more than a tank does, because he's mostly in the lab, you know. He's like a menace on the battlefield, but also he's just like a scientist, so I feel like this makes a lot more sense for Shockwave as a character. But the bad thing with this handle is every time you want to flip it up, it untransforms it, so you have to like put your thumb there, and even then that's kind of iffy, so it does come with its flaws, but I feel like this is a lot better of an alt mode, in my opinion. Plus, it has that little penis peg right there. So, in my conclusion, I will say I like both of these figures. The articulation on both is pretty good. I like that plastic quality. I don't feel like it's going to break. I do enjoy the transformations on both. I think they're very intuitive and ingenuitive. I love the colors on both. My favorite color is purple, really any shade of purple. And it's just really nice to see Shockwave getting some much needed love after a couple years and not really getting much. But I will say, both of these have their ups and downs. I really like the sculpting on both. I like the paint jobs on both. But for my current collection, and what I think is the best, would have to go to the Legacy Core Class Shockwave. I mean, they're both pretty cheap still, so you can pick one up for like 12 bucks. So it really isn't gonna matter which one you buy, but in my opinion, and in my professional Transformers opinion, I just like this figure better. It has a darker shade of purple, which I love. I like the silver trim more on this figure, and yeah, it did come with a little bit of missing paint on the hands, but I can deal with that. I like the accessory because I can use it in stop motions and everything. It even plugs into that cannon, so that's cool. I really love the transformation and the alt mode. It has a lot more articulation because all the ball joints. This guy, the movie Core Class 1, uses more hinges and is, well, because the movie aesthetic is a lot more clunkier, it is a little more clunky to move. And the cannon accessory, I feel like they could have built that in better. But with Legacy Shockwave, for my current collection, I think it is way more bang for your buck if you want a small Core Class Shockwave. Plus, it can be a cannon for your other Transformers. Isn't that fucking cool? I think that's fucking cool. So, if you guys really, really wanted my opinion, it's Legacy all the way. I'd say go out, get a Legacy one, because he is the favorite in my collection so far. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you want to see more and you haven't already, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.